My topic for this presentation is experiential learning. I chose this topic as I am tired of passively listening to lectures. I wanted to learn about something where the learner is more actively engaged. I wanted to know if experiential learning means simply to learn from doing something, or if there was more to it. One definition of experiential learning is by Lewis and Williams, who say, in its simplest form, experiential learning means learning from experience or learning by doing. Experiential education first immerses learner in an experience and then encourages reflection about the experience to develop new skills, new attitudes, or new ways of thinking. You may also understand experiential learning by knowing how it differs from traditional learning. Michelle Schwartz argues there are a number of differences, including that the student manages their own learning and they aren't told to do like in a traditional classroom. Learning may not take place in the classroom and there may be no textbooks to study. As well, the curriculum may not be clearly identified. The student may have to identify the knowledge they require and then acquire it themselves, reflecting on their learning as they go along. David Kolb helped to develop the modern theory of experiential learning beginning in the 1970s. He drew heavily on the work of John Dewey, Kurt Lewin, and Jean Piaget. Here is a quote that shows Kolb's thoughts about experiential learning. Learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. The following is a diagram of Kolb's cycle of experiential learning. I realize it doesn't make a lot of sense just by looking at it, so I will explain it with examples. First, the learner has a new experience. For example, for this assignment, I am creating a PowerPoint. Next, the learner makes observations and reflects on that experience. Of particular importance are any inconsistencies between experience and understanding. Next, I am reflecting on how I created the PowerPoint after I completed it. Then the observations and reflections are synthesized into a new understanding and interpretation of the experience. For example, I may create a list of PowerPoint best principles or create a best practices checklist. Finally, this conceptual understanding is applied and is used to guide new experiences. For example, when I create future PowerPoints, I will use the best principles I developed to guide the creation of the PowerPoints. Here are some examples of experiential learning. The only one I've participated in is cooperative education, and I don't know if there was adequate reflection on the experience to consider it experiential learning. So what is the role of the instructor in experiential learning? Rather than guiding the project, the instructor instead becomes a resource if the student needs help. Instructors can cheerlead the students by building their confidence during a challenging time. The instructor must also create and support a safe space where students feel valued, trusted, and respected during the learning process. Now I am going to talk about my own reflections on the topic, as well as some questions it raised for me. What interests me about experiential learning is how it could be applied to learning at work. For example, what if I regularly did PowerPoints as part of my job? By reflecting on the creation of the PowerPoint each time I did it, and creating some of my own best practices, either process or product related, I could improve my ability. Do other students think using an experiential learning process could help learning at work? I would also like to learn more about reflective journaling and how that could help me learn at work. Does anyone do reflective journaling, and have you found it valuable? Have you participated in experiential learning? Did you find it to be a valuable experience? And finally, do you think experiential learning complements media-enhanced learning? Why or why not? Thank you for listening to my presentation. Here are the references I used in my presentation. Experiential learning is a vast topic, and I would encourage you to read more if you are interested.